Uh, all right, we are live on YouTube. Yeah, see if we can get Facebook to kick over here. All right, let me get. It's not going up, 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 up. There it goes. Maybe if I hit my sound effect again, Facebook will work. Up, one's working. All right, it must have worked. It looks like they're starting up.
Yay.
All right, all righty, all righty, all right. Okay, we are live, gentlemen. Looks like all three pages are up and running.
Yay.
There are
Very cool.
more planes in the ocean than there are submarines in the sky.
In the
That's
sky,
true.
right there.
I like that. Words of
It is
wisdom.
good.
Words of wisdom.
It is pretty good. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Yeah,
School's out. Kids are out of town.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
High schoolers hoop.
I
Right?
know. Oh, I know.
It goes quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You blink,
Goes too fast.
you're a
Yeah.
teenager. You turn around, you're going in high school. It's my fault for turning around and blinking.
There you go.
Although I find they still ask you the same questions into the 20s. You know, like, hey, where's this? What do I look like? You know? Oh yeah, it is. It is kind of neat. It's kind of fun. I teach third grade, and they do a senior walkthrough, which is pretty common now. And the seniors walk through the old buildings, and I always get a couple to stop and see me, and it's just it is amazing. I go, wait a second, I haven't seen you in 9 years. Holy cow! And some of them look the same, just taller. Others, you almost don't recognize them. Just blows your mind. But it's really cool. And I tell my kids, I'm like, guys, that's going to be you in 9 years. And just how I forgot their name, I'm going to forget your name too. But I'll remember who you are.
Right.
You have
Yeah.
any old kids come back and look you up or?
Oh, yes, I often get kids come back and stop in and say hi and visit. Yeah, I do, and I tell you that's probably the biggest compliment I could ever get. Yeah,
Yeah, my sixth
Sure.
grade teacher, Mr. Dabrel, I still keep in touch with him. So yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I run into them once in a while. I got kids old enough now that have kids of their own, so it's kind of neat to kind of run into them at that age. See them,
Yeah.
Well, hey, gentlemen, I believe somebody's knocking on the door, coming to join us. In fact, I think it's our special guest tonight. So,
Ooh.
To quote Paul
hey,
McCartney, open the door.
yeah, is that who's coming on tonight? Music, I thought, right? Let's
Yeah.
see here. Big warm welcome for our special guest tonight, uh, famous frontman and stuntman Frank Sparks. Let's bring him in.
There he
Hey,
is.
Hey, guys, how
Frank,
you doing?
Good to see
how
you.
are you?
Welcome.
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. How are you guys all doing?
Good.
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful.
Quiet Thursday, except for the guy mowing my lawn all of a sudden out back. So if you hear the noise, I apologize.
That's quite all right. Frank, we are really thrilled for you to join us here tonight, buddy. Um, this is exciting. We've kind of been bouncing back and forth and trying to nail something down. I'm glad we got you on here. Glad you're joining us tonight. And I have a feeling we're going to hear some uh, pretty wonderful stories tonight.
Well, I hope so. I hope we'll keep you interested. I see Michael sitting out there. Michael, I got your book right here, buddy.
Hey,
Oh,
all right,
thank you for
nice,
being a part of it. Thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you
yeah.
for writing it. I'm glad you guys thought Jaws was good enough to to do this and make a living off it at the same time. That's great.
Ooh,
Hey,
well, you got half of it right.
you got that right here.
I'm making a living.
We call this volunteer work. We go
Yeah.
Yeah,
just because we love it,
that's
though. I
what I
mean,
did too.
yeah. Hey, I got one or two people chiming in saying hello. Frank Robert McGinn is joining us from over in Scotland. He's saying hi, and we got
All
Brenda
right.
Cooper. Brenda
Yeah,
Cooper hopping on there. So anyone who is on YouTube, if you guys comment, I can actually bring your comment up. And if you're on Facebook, we'll keep an eye out for you. I won't be able to bring your comments up live, but we will try and read them live. And if you have any questions tonight for Frank at all, please feel free to get up there and post them up. Victor is saying welcome, Frank, as well. Victor's from Canada, one of our good friends from the regular.
It's amazing how far flung all the fans are. They're everywhere.
It really is. You know, the phenomenon spreads, has very, very long fingers.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Matt's here. Frankie's here from Mississippi.
Wow.
Great. Keep them people calling in.
He sends
That's
love.
exactly right.
Love and cheesecake from Mississippi.
I got family moving to
Cheesecake to
Mississippi.
the island. Frank, are you bringing cheesecake to the island?
We got Mr. Craftition joining us, saying RG Henning in the house as well. So very nice, guys.
Welcome.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's hard for me to hear you guys. With all the people, I don't know what the deal is with my phone. Like I told you, Nate, I am so far from a tech guy. It bothers the hell out of me. It really does.
Listen, the only thing I know is because I had to survive COVID as a teacher, teaching kids online. I am no tech guru. Trust me, it's a lot of stumbling and fumbling and asking questions.
Well, it looks like it's a lot of fun. I always hear about when I'm perusing all of the things on Facebook about Jaws. You always hear about all the podcasts and all the different pages that are coming up around the world. It's amazing. It really is.
It truly is, 50 years, and to have the staying power and the relevancy that this world has. And it's not just, group of people that love Jaws and are really tied into Jaws, but people who don't or haven't seen the movie since they were a kid will say, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, we do a live show on Jaws." Like, "Oh, Jaws!" That immediate connection is there. It has never left. The relevancy is still there.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's on the news, it's on the radio stations, everything going on. For the 50th, I was listening to a radio station I listen to out of Philadelphia every day. Here in Pennsylvania, landlocked PA, and what were they talking about? The guy swimming around Martha's Vineyard, 62 miles around the island to show that sharks are good people too. And and they were going into a debate over whether or not they would swim in the waters off of Martha's Vineyard, and it was a resounding no. So you can imagine.
I hope the sharks don't mistake that they're trolling for the sharks.
Well, how about enough about Jaws? Frank, how about we get into you a little bit? So Frank is our special guest tonight. Frank is a longtime stuntman who has seen his way into a lot of different things. And I have to say one thing about stuntmen in general is that you guys are like the behind the scene people. We don't see you much. We don't hear from you much, but we watch you all the time, whether we realize it or whether we don't. And so to me, it's really cool just to find give me some background on you, Frank. What were you into as a kid? Were you the quiet kid? Were you the run and jump in the pool kid? Were you, in my mind, you were not the quiet kid that sat there and was shy with the type of background you have. But what I don't know. So help us out, Frank. Give me a little background on you.
Well, I was born into an acrobatic family, and we were doing circus acts, sway poles, stuff like that. And as I grew older, I stayed in because of the interest of jumping around and flipping. We were living on a street in North Hollywood called Long Ridge. And there was a stuntman that lived across the street by the name of Corky Carroll. And I always waltzed out and took a look to see what Corky was doing and stuff. And then up the street from me were the Epper family. And they were into stunts quite heavily at that time. And I always kind of got the bug in me to go on. And I always found myself being able to, out of necessity at most points, fall and live through it. So I figured being a stunt man would be pretty cool. I might do well at it. And when I went to school, junior high school, I was at a junior high over in the west end of the valley called Hughes Junior High, it was no longer there. But there was a gymnastics coach there named Jack Brown, and there was a lot of kids in the West Valley who were into gymnastics, and we seemed to all go there to use. And then we all separated our ways, went to high school and college. Then I went into the Navy, and I was a Navy SEAL for a while. And I got out of the service. And while I was kicking around when I got out of the service, I went over to find a person that I was in high school with named Rick Fields and Kenny Fields. Kenny was a fellow gymnast of mine. And when we were in school, we competed and took our butts out to the beach all summer long whenever we could. And he had a pool in the backyard, and his mom had a shack in the back that we could dive off of into the pool from there. And one of the things Kenny always said was, yeah, I'm the guy who would jump off the roof of a house into a pool. So that's the kind of person I was.
Wait a second. Look at the shock on my face. You know?
What?
Yeah. We have, and I apologize to interrupt, but as people are popping in on Facebook and throwing up comments or questions, I might kind of poke in and just to kind of read a couple of those off for you, Frank, if that's okay, bud.
No problem. I'm your slave today.
We've got Barbara Fry Alberton saying, hey, Frank. We have Dawn Henderson saying, hello, Frank. Yeah, and Victor is saying, Frank, I want to thank you for being in Jaws 2 also. That's like his favorite movie is Jaws 2. And he says, I believe you're the only person to be attacked twice in the Jaws films. So
I got deaded quite often. Yeah, I was when I doubled Richard on Jaws 1, I got out of that one. I didn't get eaten on that one. But within the first scene of Jaws 2, I get munched.
So you into the Navy, acrobatics, Navy, and then Navy SEAL. I mean, holy cow, that's like top of the top there. I mean, that's got to be, I would assume some of your athleticism and some of your mindset had to kind of play into your ability to go and achieve that level. Would you say that's right?
I would say without a doubt the physical aspects that I grew up with and honed all through my life definitely played a point in me being a SEAL, going into the SEAL team training. The desire came from there, making 3 trips overseas to Vietnam and coming back here and then going, I think I'll fall off a building.
Must have been a sit down, right? I did want to try and grab a picture of you, an earlier picture of you, Frank. So I did borrow one of your pictures here, and just what he's talking about. I mean, it's a lean, mean fighting machine out there. I mean, yeah, looking good, Frank. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's when I actually had enough hair to comb. Now I just slide my hand on back.
Well, question. So, how did you make the transition from coming out of the Navy to actually getting into stunt work? Because, it seems like it's one of the gray areas that as far as going into it that people know, and at least myself anyway, I'm just ignorant to the fact, like, how on earth do you even try to follow through with that? Or how do you even look that up? You show up at like the doorstep of a studio? Like what do you do? Is it someone that you knew? Like what got you intrigued to go that direction?
There was the mother of the man that I was talking about, Kenny Fields, was a film editor, and she did a lot of her film editing in her backyard, right outside her pool. She add on to her garage where she built a studio for editing. And all the time I was in gymnastics, Verna kept saying, we ought to get you into stunt work. I know you like it. You would probably be good at it. Because like she knew my background in gymnastics. She knew I came from an can't talk at my age. She knew I had an acrobatic background and that my desire was there. I'm basically I'm the guy that falls. I'm not the guy that produces a movie or anything like that. They tell me fall down here on this X. That's where I fall down. But anyway, Verna sat back and said, I went over to her house. I'd gotten out of the Navy. I was bumming around. I was doing some gas station work and some carpentry work, anything to put 2 dimes in my pocket because I'd been married and I have a kid that I was supporting at the time too. It was like perfect timing to go by and see Verna and say hi. I walk into the backyard and her son goes, Frank Sparks, I'll be damned. We've been trying to get a hold of you for 6 months. And I went, oh, really? And Verna sticks her head out of the door and she goes, shut up, Rick. I'm dialing his number right now. And I said, you don't have to. I'm here. and she goes, okay, fine, Frank. I'm glad you're here. I want you to go take a drive down to MGM Studios. I want you to meet this kid named, not kid, I thought of him as a kid, but I want you to meet this guy named Steven Spielberg. He's the director on a show called Jaws that I've been doing. And you'd be a perfect photo double for Richard Dreyfuss. And I went, okay. And that's how it started.
No kidding. Wow.
So I'm going to take a guess that Verna was Oscar-winning film editor Verna Fields.
Verna Fields, right?
That is. And
no
one of the nicest ladies I've ever met in my life. She was kind of like a second mom to me during the summers in high school because Kenny and I palled around quite a bit.
No kidding. Wow. So close friend of Verna Fields. Wow. The mother cutter herself. Incredible. Wow.
Yeah, she was like, okay, she was it wasn't, I didn't know she was famous. I didn't think of her as famous. I thought of her as an awesome lady, an awesome gal. She was my best friend's mom, super lady. And I enjoyed always going over to her house because she always had something we could do there, like reel up some stuff that was from the cutting room floor and then put them into cans and all that stuff. She was one talented lady, though.
Incredible. Janie, she's one of our hosts. Can't join us tonight. She's saying she's at least listening. She's at work. She's saying, hello, Frank. She wanted to apologize for not being able to make it tonight, but she did want to let you know she is listening in. So very excited to know that you're on the show with us. So very cool.
Well, I'm glad to meet her. How would that be? Serendipitously?
Serendipitously, yes. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Hi to everybody out there that's listening. Believe me, it just amazes me the fandom of those 2 movies. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. And it seems like, with the 50th coming up here in just a matter of weeks now, I mean, people are just coming out of the woodworks. I mean, really coming out in droves. A number of people that I've talked to that are going to go, or attending events and things of that nature, ourselves included.
All the book signings.
Oh, yes. Really excited. Mike has a brand new book coming out. He's going to be signing on the island. So, called, you have your, plug your cards there, Mike. So he's got a brand new one called 50 Years of Jaws Fanatics coming out that we are all very excited about. Yes. Cannot wait to see that. Yes.
One of these days when I went to MGM Studios and I met Steven there, we did that scene. I'm sure you've seen it. Everybody jumps at it of screaming underwater and blowing bubbles like there's no tomorrow. I did that scene. Now, got to remember, Steven is a perfectionist. He really knows what he wants. He gets a lot of film done. We did that thing 31 times. And he looked at me at the end of it and he says, can you scream without blowing bubbles?
30? 31 times. Holy cow. Well, you know what? Let's take a look at that shot. What do you think?
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Let me bring that in here. Oh, hold on. Got to remove that. Well, let's try. Let me move us over here. We'll try that again. Sorry about that. Got to get that one removed, and we'll add that back over. There we go. This is the shot. Infamous shot. You guys at home know what we're talking about.
You'll never go down with them barrels.
That isn't getting louder.
My favorite part of that scene is when you look right in to the camera and you grab your goggles and adjust them, and
Yeah.
you suddenly give that look of like if you had any lines, the first one would have been, "Oh shit," you know what I mean?
That's a big shark I see. That's a big one. My bang stick.
Oh,
Here's the only protection you have.
That's it. I ain't got my bang stick no more.
And it gets ugly.
Get me out of here.
And exit stage left.
Exit stage left. Yes.
little across
You
the
know what?
coast.
Yeah,
What-
we did
what
those
always-
underwater shots. We did those underwater shots where I get out of the cage out at Catalina.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Out off the coast of
Hiding
California
in the
there.
rocks. Hiding in the rocks.
Hiding in the rock. And I got to say, what always solidified that with me as the shark was attacking was the desperation of the stabbing of the head with the diver's knife and the blood coming. It was just, it wasn't like you were poking at it to get away, like you were, you know, like bopping a dog on the nose because he got too close at the dinner table. I mean, it's just sheer power and desperation. You're just trying to do whatever collateral damage that you possibly can. Yeah, it always blew my mind with that scene. It's incredible.
Stephen was pretty adamant in his direction about how he wanted the stabbing to go, what it to look like, so he would draw people in and really feel desperation and just pure terror of this big, big shark coming after somebody. That was his direction that really came through on that one.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still 50 years later, still a frightening scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
incredibly done. And even the fact that, you know, that you're there and you knew it was a mechanical shark. It had to be pretty damn scary to have a couple ton of machinery coming at you and ramming into you like that while you were shooting scenes. No?
I'm not, I've after war when they're not shooting at you, a mechanical shark ain't so bad.
I knew you weren't the sit there and be quiet kind of guy, Frank. I just knew that. I should have expected that one. Yeah. We do have a question coming in. Well, two things. Judy Pankos is saying, "How cool is this?"
Yeah.
Judy's a good friend of ours. Always hops on the show. Singer songwriter, wonderful lady. And Victor is saying, Frank, could you do the Quint death scene being swallowed whole if asked? In fact, someone asked that question the other night. Were you Quint when Quint went down in the mouth? And I said I didn't know if it was you or
No,
Grossman or someone else.
no. I never doubled Robert Shaw. I only worked with him one time. He did a pirate movie, and I worked with him during a dinner scene on that show. I wasn't doing any stunts. I was doing extra work at the time, background extra.
Washbuckler, yeah.
Yeah,
Gosh,
and
yeah.
he was entertaining as can be. That man really was, and he was a force. He was really a force to be around.
Wow. And someone else is chiming in on that information too, saying this is fantastic. All these years, I thought it was Dick Warlock in the cage. Nope.
No,
Here's your guy. It was Frank. Yeah.
Dick is pretty tall. I don't. I mean, I don't know why, unless they wanted to think that maybe Dick would make the cage look smaller. I don't know. No, Dick wasn't in the cage, as far as I know. Now, whether he came around at another different time and did some work in the cage at MGM, I have no knowledge of.
Incredible. Incredible. Yeah, and so I would assume Jaws kind of started to open doors for you as far as other avenues to go down.
Well, I did Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I doubled Richard in that show where he's in the truck waiting at the railroad crossing, and the whole
with the lights.
inside of the truck explodes with kind of debris flying around. I doubled him on that shot. And then other stuff, basically it was things that I came up when I met other stunt coordinators on different shows. That's when I started working more and more stunts, is by getting to know who the stunt coordinators were, and they would hire me for whatever they needed at the time. Like I say, I'm a pawn. I ain't the director. I ain't the star. I'm just the guy who falls down and thank you very much. I'm going my way now.
Well, you are very humble, and I did want to at least illustrate. Maybe we could hit on. In fact, there's some people asking some questions here. Illustrate, maybe hit on just some of the films that you worked on, and they're not all listed here. And well, we know that you also did a lot of TV show work and some credited and uncredited things as well. And this is just a bit of a rundown of some of the films that Frank has worked on. Judy Pancos is asking, what did you do on the X Files?
I doubled the guy. I can't remember the character's name or the actor's name on the X Files. There was something to do with a little kid, and you got to remember, I'm 5'2". Okay, I can double kids pretty easy, and with the way technology's gotten, we've all seen what you can make a 6-foot man look like a dwarf on, Game of Thrones or Frodo and his ring journeys. But there's a lot of work that I did with a lot of doubling of kids, and that's got me into a lot of shows. That happened on the Twilight Zone. Once it was to double a kid, and the other one it was to double the guy with the big beard, black beard. He was one of the 3 different guys on the show. And I doubled him inside of a ventilation shaft. So that's how that worked out. Wow. But any of the other stuff, that was a lot of it's I doubled. Look, my brain is addled here today. I doubled Danny DeVito in Twins. I doubled some people.
Is that who you doubled for? Oh, that's awesome.
Oh God!
I was going to ask before you
revealed how. There's so many.
Yeah, before you revealed how tall you were, I saw you were in Predator and Twins. I was going to ask if you doubled Arnold, but I'm guessing.
No. No, but working with Arnold has really been friend. The stunt coordinator that was on that show was Joel Kramer, and Joel is a really super good guy. he used me on quite a few different shows that he was doing the stunt coordinating on.
Nice. What work did you do in Ghostbusters 2? Do you remember that?
That one there was oh God, just a nondescript guy getting his butt beat by some crowd. That would be like I said. I'm almost like extra body out there to beat up on, and I lived through it.
Man, so I mean, uh, and again, I really think that you don't get enough credit for what you do, and in your humble opinion of yourself, you don't think of it as being very much. But I made a comment before that if it was that easy, there'd be a hell of a lot more people out there doing it than what's out there
Uh,
doing it. So
there's a lot of
you know,
people that want to be stunt. There's a lot of people that want to be stunt, and there's a lot of people that the turnover is enough to where a lot of people can get in. And the technology now is pretty damn advanced to where you can make an actor look like they're doing a round off flip flop with a triple back and a 19s twister. It's unbelievable what they can do.
Oh, Frank,
wow.
I belong to the Kansas City Film Critics Circle, and we are one of the few groups that our end of the year awards, we include a stunt ensemble award for
The
to
stunt
recognize the work.
Yeah, stunt awards are a real popular thing that's coming up. They've been fighting for it. Stuntmen have been fighting for it. Different stunt organizations and individuals. And I think at some time or another, it'll be a little more recognized than it is right now. They've got the stunt awards, and they're looking for an Academy Award, also category for it. I know they have I thought it was a stunt ensemble award here not too long ago that was on either a Grammy or an Academy Award.
Wow. Wow. We have two more people popping in. Mark Ames is popping in and saying hello, Frank, and we have a new viewer, Nick Yamara. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. Is saying good morning from Japan. So joining us from Japan. So holy cow! And there's another question on here for you, Frank. Let me get down to the question here. It
Is that
says
from Victor about
from Victor.
did you know Dar Robinson?
I knew Dar Robinson, as a matter of fact. He was probably one of the top stuntmen in the business. He was a great innovator. And I met him out at a place called Cal City. I was doing some skydiving out there. Dar was a great flyer. I was a bird getting my wings for the first time out there. I did do some skydiving while I was in the service. I was a member of the Leapfrogs for one show, and I did about 400 jumps in total while I was in the service. And then I got out and started doing some jumps out at Cal City. And I saw Dar and talked to him out there at Cal City a couple of times. Great guy, great guy. I'm really sorry that I would have liked to have seen how much more he was going to create. He was really good.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
There were some good stunt people on. I mean, when you look at, for example, God, I can't remember them all. Jeannie Coulter was on Jaws.
She's been on the show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeannie's a
Christine
sweetheart.
Freeman.
Christine.
Yeah,
Christine
and
Freeman was in Jaws too. We had her on. Yeah.
yeah,
Christine
yep.
Freeman. Yep.
And right now, like I said, I'm 77 years old, 76 years old. My brain's getting a little thin, but there was quite a few people. Sometimes I just can't hang on to all the names of all the people that I work with, and I really wish I could. But I've taken quite a few thumps in my life, and it can rattle your brain a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do teach you, isn't right? Is there a way how to fall? Like if you got to slip and fall, you got to land this way or try to.
Basically, that learning curve came to me when I was doing gymnastics. You know, once you learn how your body awareness of what you're doing, that's one of the things that led me to interest because of my body awareness, that I knew that I could fall off or I could climb something or I could jump from something that comes early on in life. For example, there was one time I jumped onto a horse when I was like 4 years old, and that horse stomped me into the ground. And it was pretty radical at the time, but it's a learning curve, and you learn how to tuck and roll real fast when that's going on.
Or you learn how not to do things, right? Only
Yes,
takes once, right?
yes, indeed. Yeah, there was so my career is based. My basic career was built on the relationships that I had with all the stunt coordinators in the show, in the different shows that I did. I mean, James Arness was amazing. Ronnie Rondell was just superb. Hal Needham, I only met Hal. I never worked with him. There's so many guys that are in stunt work, that are stunt coordinators, that are just unbelievable stuntmen, and they're going to be around forever. I think you'll always find some kind of thing that they're going to need a stuntman to do the fall for, that they can't really do as well through AI. But we'll see.
Very true. I just recently reviewed Mission Impossible, and in the beginning, the first paragraph, I mentioned Dar and Genie and Yakima Canutt because those are the names you remember from the different stunts they did. They achieved so much that you knew their names, and I was just questioning whether or not. Oh, Frank left. I had a good question too. Vamp.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back. We do have. Oh, there he is. He's
There he
coming
is.
back in.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't leave just yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
kidding.
told you. I told you, and I meant it. I'm your slave today. Whatever you guys need, be more
Oh,
than happy to help you out.
Well, what I would
no.
say is I recognize Dar and Yakima Canutt and Jeannie Coulter as great stunt performers, people that achieve so much that their name is common knowledge on the Mission Impossible film, because Tom Cruise does so many of his own stunts. Have you seen any of the Mission Impossible films? And
Yes,
do you,
I have. I have.
do you just wonder how that kid's an actor? How is he able to do that?
Well, I met Tom when he did Taps. That was the first show I'd ever worked where I met a young kid who was really gonna be going someplace hard and fast. And he's very excitable. He's got a lot of energy, and I don't doubt that he likes to get out there and tickle his adrenaline gland as much as he can.
He does some. Oof. Who did you double in Taps? Were you Charlie?
No, there was it was a school of
Right.
little cadets, and there was all cadets, all kinds of cadets in the school. Whatever cadet, I was a nondescript cadet, taking a fall and getting beat up and slammed and all the rest of that, or a cop flying in on one of the assault vehicles.
Very nice.
Amazing.
So I have a question regarding Jaws too, if you don't mind, Frank. So we know, in fact, I have the clip. I'm going to play the clip here in a bit of you at the beginning of Jaws 2. My question is, did you shoot that under Jano Schwartz, or did you shoot that under Hancock? Was that like an original thing to be shot before they changed now?
Out where? On Jaws 2?
Yeah,
Yes.
the beginning when you guys are at the Orca.
That was done out at Catalina, and we went out there to do that on 2 different occasions. And the photographic the photographer of it was I think it was Dennis Dugan or Dugan. I can't remember his name offhand. Good diver and a damn good photographer. I was worried about him at first because he just was in a hurry. And usually when they get into these things, you want to go a little bit slower, but we got it up done. And it wasn't under Janot, it wasn't under John Hancock. It was all out of Catalina. And Dugan was the director of the shots out there.
Okay.
Cool.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, what do you say we watch?
Yes.
We watch you get chewed up a little bit. How's that sound?
If we're gonna watch Jaws 2, I'm ducking.
All right, here we go. Let me bring this one in here for us, guys. There we go. Right from the get-go. Pretty ingenious introduction too, you know.
Mhm.
Parallel yet different from the first one. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's no fooling around. Somebody's gonna die real quick.
yep, as Juno said, show the shark. There we go.
Cool.
Nice.
Very nice. Very
Nice.
nice. And I just realized it's about the same scream. It must be you again, right? Yeah.
They might have used that for a lot of things after we did it. That was funny. Can you scream underwater? Yeah, we can scream underwater. Can you scream underwater without bubbles?
Yeah.
And we had the Nick Umera chime back in. The gentleman who's joining us from Japan, and he says, "Thank you for mentioning my name. I'm a film producer for 40 years now because I saw Jaws when I was 12 years old. So you made my life. So hats off to you, Frank. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah,
Well, don't be a
I think
stranger.
Stephen probably made his life.
all the way. Well, you had a hand in that. Hey, I believe Jeannie is joining us here for a little bit.
Mhm.
Hello,
Hey
Jeannie.
guys, can you hear me?
We can hear
We
you.
can.
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Good, because I'm in my car. Listen, nor rain, nor shine, nor work is going to keep me away from talking to Mr. Frank here, okay?
Okay.
Beat me up. Beat me.
So I just wanted to kind of hop on here and say, it's really an honor for you to join our show. And I'm so sorry I'm not there. But, you talk about that you're being humble and all this work you have done. Listen, it takes stunt actors to make that movie look great and well.
Mhm.
So, we thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And as a nurse and of the healthcare system, we see a lot of broken bones because of that. So, um, but my question to you is: did you ever know Terry Leonard? He's
Yes,
a
I
stunt.
did. I worked.
You knew
Yes,
Terry.
yes, I knew Terry very well. I worked for Terry on several films, like Red Dawn, for one. On that one, I was one of those guys that just nondescript killed that dude. And I also doubled the girls on that show when the
Nice,
helicopters were coming in, strafing them while they were on the horseback.
nice, very nice.
Wow.
I remember watching behind the scenes of him standing in for Harrison Ford. So he stapled his hat to his head. So my other question is: was there anything weird that they asked for you to do to get a good shot?
in Commando,
Ooh.
or what show do you think?
Any show. What is the
Any
most
film.
Any show.
outrageous thing? The most
Yeah, what was
outrageous thing
Any
a director asked you to do?
show. No, I don't think it was weird. Some of it were more, I don't know, iffy as to whether I could pull it off or not. No, there was a show with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase, Foul Play, I think it was,
Right.
Oh, I
where
love foul play.
I had to double Billy Barty and I went down through a manhole. And I don't know if you've ever climbed into a manhole, but they have rungs all the way down it on one side of the wall.
Oh,
And I had
gracious.
them padded off pretty good. But because of my stupidity, it wasn't enough. And I hit every rung with my spine going
Oh,
down this thing, which racked me out for quite a while.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, I was just wanting to hop on here. I've pulled a 12-hour shift almost. So I just wanted to say thank you. And it's been great.
Well, thank you. And anytime you want to have me on, I'll do it.
Well, good. Maybe next time I won't be in nurses scrubs.
I'll put them on if you need.
It's a deal, Frank. All right, guys, I'm going in.
Thank
You
you,
guys
Jenny.
have a good night.
You
Nice.
too.
Thanks for hopping on
Bye.
quick, Danny.
Be careful. Don't get a ticket.
Yeah,
All
right.
righty. Yes, sir. All right, bye.
See ya.
You guys work with some good crew.
Oh, the best. The
I
best.
tell you, this is yeah. Half of it is doing it for the love of Jaws, and the other half is the fact that I get to hang out with all these people every week. I mean, really, just
Great people.
just a
Great people.
great bunch of people. I mean, I watched the show for 3 years before I ever even thought about getting involved, and just sheer admiration. Still am. These guys, I push buttons. These guys are the brains of the outfit. I just
I
kind of.
know that. I know what you mean.
Hey, there's one or two other questions popping up here. So one is saying, do you know if they filmed the helicopter shark attack scene in Jaws 2 in Catalina Islands as well?
I don't know. I don't know how they did that shot or anything else about it. I just don't know. I'm sure somebody has got it in their book, though.
I would imagine so. Maybe even in their memory banks, right?
Please.
Yeah, really. I mean, all the research that was done for that. Are you kidding me? The answer's got to be in there.
500 pages of love. Frank, Dawn Henderson wants to know if you remember a stuntman by the name of Steve Vanderman.
Steve Vanderman. Yes, I do. And that's from Dawn Henderson.
Yes.
Dawn Henderson is a friend of mine's daughter.
Oh.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And her dad, as a matter of fact, Greg Henderson, was a aspiring motor scooter racer out in the desert with there was a group of guys called the Checkers, and Greg was out there jumping around with them all the time. But Steve Vanderman, I haven't seen or heard of for a while. But you got to remember, I haven't been active doing stunts for quite a while now.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for them to use me for a dog toy next. The dog chew. I want to be the stunt dog chew toy.
So doing what you do and taking the risks that you take, did you often find that it left you in some trouble physically at times? End up hospital stays, things of that nature, taking the risks you had to take?
Yes, I've had some broken bones. I've been in the hospital. I've gotten operated on. a few times. I just take it as part of the job. It doesn't really bother me that it's happened. It's part of life as far as stunts go. Nowadays, the stunt work has gotten so technical on wires and belts and stuff like that. They're not quite taking the falls like we used to. It's like a high fall now is into a nice soft pad. Way back then in the olden days, it was cardboard boxes, man. We're going to jump into cardboard boxes. And then they had a stunt guy come out over in Australia that went up to 12,000 feet, jumped out of an airplane, and landed in stunt cardboard boxes.
Oh my gosh.
It's the things are advancing. The evolution of stunt work is really changing.
Wow. Sounds like it almost has to, number one. Number two, I mean, I can't imagine, jumping into some boxes was leaving you with a really good feeling going, well, it's the illusion that this isn't going to hurt when I land. I mean, I would think it would have to change over time because you guys you earned every shot you had to take,
Yeah, we did a lot of hitting of hard bodies on hard floors a long time ago.
Oof.
And it does leave its mark. But like I say, compared to bullets flying at you, I can deal with it.
Oh. Most definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful statement. Powerful statement. Yeah. So,
well, it's like I told you, Nate. It's like I told you, Nate. I thought my goal was to live to be 199 and die in bed with 2 Playmate bunnies. That was my goal. So far, it ain't working out that way, but that was the goal.
Hey, you got time yet? You're rounding it out. You're working towards your goal, right?
A third of the way there. Yeah, more than a third of the way there. So
that's right. That's right.
Progress.
All right, 2/3 of the way there. Just gonna make a phone call. That's all, right?
Okay. Talk to Stephen. Tell him to come up with something for me to do.
So, one of the things that Frank and I were talking, and I was asking Frank is, when you watch these shots in these movies, unless you know a little bit of background, you don't know who you're looking at, or the idea is that you're a quote double. In other words, they don't want to know that it's you; they want you to think that it's one of the actors. And so, yep.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
No problem.
I have. I'm sitting next to the front door, and I've got an Amazon guy here or something coming to here. I'll come back later. I'll do it again. Come back later. Oh. I'm busy. Okay, boss. Jeez. All right, adios. That's what happens when you do a podcast from your front porch.
Hey, all good. When we have Frank Sparks on, everybody wants a piece of that,
Yeah, I guess.
And Jeff Bezos to make his own podcast. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry to interrupt it like that. I didn't want him standing out there for the next 10 minutes.
No, not a problem. Hey, I do have another question here. It's from Eric Scott Fick. It says, were you kept in mind for stunt work in Jaws 3D or The Revenge? I know Tom Morga did 2 and the 4th one. Just curious.
I have no idea. I don't know who was being considered for work on the show or not. That would be up to the director and the talent coordinator and whoever does the casting.
Sure.
I'm sure they knew that I did the first 2. Whether they had somebody I could double in the next 2 or the whatever 3D, I don't know. I have no idea.
Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I would assume that, as whether, I don't know, as a director or producer or whatever, once you work with a few people, that kind of like anything else, you become comfortable working with certain people. And so you kind of have confidence and maybe rely on certain people. Would that be an accurate statement at times?
Yeah, it truly is. It's like the stunt coordinators that I know and that I've worked with knew that when they were hiring me, if I went down to the ground, I was going down to the ground 100% for them. I wasn't going to screw around. And that's where they had their when they think of me, they knew that they were getting a proven quality that I would take the hit.
Awesome. Awesome. And Mike and Hooper, I apologize if I'm kind of manipulating the conversation. I'm just having so much fun talking to Frank. I apologize. Please jump in and tell me to be quiet for a few minutes.
Yeah, you're good. Here, Michael. Go for it, Michael.
Question.
Jump on me.
We're enjoying the questions.
Yeah. So I have Larry Albrighton says, I have a question for Frank. So Larry, shoot. What is your question? We want to hear it, bud. See if he pops back. And in the meantime, while he's kind of posting up a question, one of the things that I talked to Frank about is I said, you know, we're not supposed to know who you are in the movie. We're supposed to think that you're someone else. And so my question to Frank was there any movies that we looked at, like we do in Jaws, where we look at it and we see Frank, you know, where we can actually look and go, yep, that's definitely Frank. And you know, I've, you know, talked to Frank. I met with him face to face here very briefly. But once I started doing a little bit of research, I started to come across clips. You're not hard to pick out, Frank. You're very, very distinguishable based on your looks. You got a bit of the chiseled jaw kind of look to you. And so you were, I tried to pull up some shots of you, and as I'm going through, I'm going, oh, that's definitely Frank. And so I did pull up one or two clips that I tracked down. And so I thought maybe I'd kind of share some of those with everyone, if that's all right.
No, please.
Fire away.
Spot the guest.
All right. So we have the first clip I have. This is a shorter clip, but exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as I watched this, I was like, oh, that's definitely who that is. So this is from Frank's work in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. He does a little kind of stand in here. So let me pull this up. This is with Doc at the bar. Here we go.
Price you name, money I got. Place you name, money I name, otherwise bargain no. All right, damn it. It's Genesis. The name of the place we're going is Genesis. Genesis? Yes, Genesis. How
There
can
it
you be deaf with ears like that?
That was me.
That was you turning to listen, huh?
Turning around to see what was going on. Yeah.
That was a show that R.A. Rondell was the stunt coordinator on and put me to work on that.
Very nice.
Frank, before we get to the next clip, Larry Albritton's question was, did you encounter any live sharks while filming either Jaws, well, not Jaws, but Jaws 2?
While we were filming, no. While I was in the service as a SEAL, we did a couple miles swim out at San Clemente Island, and we were chum for them. They were following us the whole swim. So I have swam with sharks before, but on Jaws, no, I never worked with the live shark at all on that show. And Larry's another friend I know. Hi, Larry.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Above my pay grade, Frank. I don't think I could have swam with the sharks. I think I had to call it quits there.
It's honest to God, it's not that bad. There was a kid named Peter Stater, I think it was, that was pretty casual underwater. He would reach into a cage with a shark in it and grab a hold of a shark and just, you know, waltz around. He was pretty good underwater boy. There was a couple of other guys that were in stunt work that were really good underwater. They had some good training. We did Airport 77 at Waukeula Spring in Florida, where the airliner went down in the ocean, and we had a working there in freshwater Waukeula Spring. It was a lot of fun.
Very nice. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just courage on a little bit of a different level.
Is not catching my. There we go.
Yeah,
I think I can hear you now.
There you go. You're back. Yeah,
I had a call
you're
coming
back.
in and I couldn't hear on the phone.
Yep. No big deal. No big deal.
Okay.
Wow. Airport 77. Another big one.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. There we are. I think.
Yep,
If
good.
anybody can hear me still.
Yep, we got you.
I can't
we
hear
got
you guys. That's one of the problem I'm having, and I don't know why it is.
Okay. All right. I'll try and kind of speak up here. Maybe get my microphone a little closer if that helps you at all. So, and well, I even know that there's another question on here, but maybe what I'll do is
I'm
Frank,
gonna
I'll
check
play
on out and see if I can click back in for you. I don't
Okay.
have
Not
any
a problem.
sound at all.
Okay. Well, good. Very good. Wow. Very interesting. Even the Amazon man wanted to get on the action. Actually, Janie posted and said we should have brought the Amazon man on, make his day, give him his 15 minutes of fame.
My package. My package I ordered.
Oh man. All right. Let's see if he's back in. All right. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. All right.
You guys are gonna make me a tech wizard at this rate of thing.
Hey. That's why they call it a live show. It all happens, you know.
I used to do a live show back out here with I live in the Antelope Valley in Palmdale where they built the space shuttles. And there was a live TV call-in talk show out here they used to have with a guy named Herb Nero. So I'm a little bit flexible. I know what's the things that can happen when you're doing a live show. Things can go dead real quick if they want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Murphy's Law. Always instituted.
Yes, it is. Right.
Yeah.
So Mark Ames wants to know, did you meet any of the other main cast members from Jaws or Jaws 2?
Did I do what with them?
Meet any of them?
Meet any of the main cast members.
On Jaws 2. I knew the kids pretty well because I was boat coordinator on them, and I was also their safety swimmer. So I got to know the kids quite a bit. They were amazing kids, and there was another guy that was on the show there, David Owsley, who was a real good sailor.
Him and his sister, Susan. Yeah.
He was great, just great. But all the kids that were on the show, I did get to meet them. I did get to help keep them safe as much as I could. There was one time I was a little worried about Donna Wilkes, but she was in chest high water and she could touch the ground. So I think she was acting.
Well, speaking of some of the actors from Jaws and Jaws 2, Gary Springer popped in and sent me a message and said, "Hey, tell Sparky I said howdy."
Tell Jerry Springer, yeah, hello, buddy. Him and David Elliott and a couple of the other, they were really good kids. I enjoyed that whole crew. I really did. There were some things that happened away from the filming and stuff like that, but it wasn't part of the show, so I don't even worry about it.
Well, they grew up to be good adults. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they did. As far as I can tell, it's like Ricky Schroeder. Ricky Schroeder on Jaws didn't know about it, and then look at what he's accomplished since then. He's been doing just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another comment on here. It says, "I read the story about the kids encountering hammerhead sharks in Jaws 2. Do you know of any truth to that?"
I have no idea if they did. I don't remember anything like that happening, but I was not with those kids 24/7 while we were working on the show. There was times when I wasn't in where the filming was. They may have down there in Florida. I don't think I didn't hear any scuttlebutt about it, but it may have been.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, how about another shot of Frank in a movie? One that we can pick out. How's that sound? I've got one more.
I haven't done many of them where you can tell it's me.
Well, I have to say, outside of probably the Jaws clips, the ones that I came across, this one you're in, and you're. I mean, it's a couple times we see you in action. We see you kind of turn around. We see you, yeah, definitely right in the heart of the scene. And
Oh,
this
you
is
got
from,
me.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, easy to pick you out. I mean, this is from memory of Eva Riker, which
Oh,
was I believe, a movie about I believe it was a cruise ship that was struck during World War II, if I'm not mistaken.
that was a fun shoot. And I got to meet some great people. Like, well, you'll see when you see the old Morgan Fairchild for one,
Yeah,
Michael Foxworth, or what's his name, Foxworth.
Robert.
He was on that.
Foxworth? Oh.
Yeah,
Robert.
and then there's more a lot of people on that show. That was an Irwin Allen show.
Here we go. I could pick him out right there, right on the left side. I believe. Do you have the hat on there?
Yeah, that's me. The little guy next to him. I did one of the falls off here off the side.
I was going to ask that. That's got to be you right there.
That's me. That was a fun show and a good one. I really like. I'm surprised it didn't do better than it did. I'm
Yeah.
surprised you found that clip. I don't think I've seen that clip in years.
I did a little digging, I got to say, but I came across it, and I tried. There was another one I found, but it was done and overdubbed in Spanish, and I can't remember which film that it was, and it was a little very grainy. So unfortunately, I ended up not bringing that one in. It was a little hard to make out, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very
usually when
interesting.
I'm doing a shot, it's you're not supposed to recognize me.
And honestly, that's kind of the idea. And I thought, there's got to be something out there. There's got to be something we can look at and go, it's definitely you. Even though really, as your job is to really not be seen. So it's kind of interesting that you're able to kind of pop your head up here and there in some of the movies that you worked on, which is
There was
great.
one shot that I did on, I think it was Red Dawn. I was doubling the kid named Arvark, and he gets shot out on the field at a tank battle, and I'm on the barrel of the tank doubling him. And as I come on down, it was a fall from the tank turret all the way down to the ground. And as I hit the ground, the camera's right on me. So I had to play dead and roll over slowly, cover my face so they couldn't see it was me.
So if I remember, you were wearing the snow camouflage, and you got hit or shot, right? And
Yeah.
kind of lumped over the cannon barrel, right?
Yeah. And then as the cannon barrel is homing in on another target, spinning to the left, as my feet are dragging across the top of the tank, it's enough force to drag me off of the barrel, but dumps me out on the ground beside the tank, on my back. So it was, as soon as I hit, I had to cover up real quick so I didn't ruin the illusion of the kid. And that way they could reach on down, pull him back over, and spin him up face up.
Wow.
Movie magic.
Movie
Yes,
magic, absolutely incredible.
Yes, it is.
Jeez.
And that was a fun
Yeah.
show. That was a Terry Leonard show for the other person who was asking about whether I knew Terry. That was a Terry show.
Because somewhere the kid that played Aardvark watches that with his friends and goes, "No, that was me. That was me."
And you know what? That's okay by me. That's okay. I know who did it.
So Barbara is chiming in saying you can see Frank in Jingle All the Way. He's playing an elf. Is that right?
In which show?
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah, I was an elf, and I can be. I guess I can be seen in that one too.
Nice.
Nice, nice. So you've done a
Like I said,
couple.
I'm getting
Arnold
old. My
Schwarzenegger
memory's not good. Say what?
That's all right. That's all right. My memory's not good. It wasn't good as a kid, so you don't have to apologize. Trust me.
I love the callers calling in and reminding me what shows I've been in. I can't remember them all.
Very nice. Very nice. So you worked on a couple Schwarzenegger films then. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was those were Joel Kramer was the stunt coordinator on it, and Joel and I have worked on the shows pretty good. He's another one. He knows when he calls me in to do a gag. Even today, if he called me in to do a gag, he's getting 100% of me. So he's going to get his shot one way or the other.
Very nice. Wow. So working with Spielberg on a couple different films, I would assume that you and Ted Grossman have crossed paths a few times, correct?
Teddy is a clown. He is one of the funniest people you will ever meet. I mean, the man is a riot to be with. He's really good.
Wow. Wow. Incredible. Awesome. Awesome.
And I've heard some people sit back and say, well, I don't see Freddie enough on the show. Well, he's around. He's been as busy as I have, if not more. He's always around on a show. He was good friends with, I think it was Dick Zanuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes complete sense then.
Yeah, he's good, super good guy. But believe me when I say this, Teddy is so funny. He really is. He'll crack you up. You can be with him for 5 minutes and you won't stop laughing most of the time.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, we're kind of rounding out here, a little past our hour. And listen, I keep on as long as we want, but also trying to be respectful of your time. But
like I said, I'm yours.
Well, I wouldn't mind. First of all, you guys have a couple questions. I apologize. I am constantly jumping in here. I'm just so intrigued by hanging out and talking with Frank. I've got one or two questions, but I don't want to, Mike or Hoop, you guys have any questions or comments for him before I jump in again?
Oh, don't do that. Come on.
Covered.
Oh, I'm sure you got more. You guys are vicious. Be vicious now. Be sharks. Get those deep questions out there. Take a bite out of me.
So I do have a couple of questions. So number one, what was your most outrageous or most dangerous stunt that you had to perform for a film or a TV show?
Oh, good
in your
Lord.
mind?
In my mind,
yeah.
Going down that manhole in foul play, that hurt so bad, and I knew it had the ability to be just.
We lost him. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit a button there. No big deal.
What Burns Meredith say? Beware the dwarf.
I'm yours. You can't.
Oh, good. Sorry, Frank. We lost you there in mid-sentence. You talked about going down that manhole and.
Yeah, going down the manhole in foul play was. Believe me when I say this, that hurt every rung.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Ouch.
Is there any stunts that you refused to do? Was there anything that was like so over the top outrageous? You're like, you know what? It's not worth me getting killed over.
I'm not a fire gag guy. There was a gentleman that recently just died, Lane Levitt, who loved fires, and I'm not a fire guy. I've never really cared to do fire gags, just because it's about as close to being bullets firing at you as you could possibly want, and
Okay.
I don't do bullets firing at me anymore.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
fire gags, no. Otherwise, I'll take a fall off of just about anything they want me to fall from.
Mhm.
How accurate
man.
to the life was the movie Hooper?
You know, I'm sure that there was stuff in there that Hal had done, his crew of Stunts Unlimited had done. I'd say that was pretty much accurate as to what kind of stunts were being done, and on the show, the stunts were being done. There wasn't any trickery involved in a lot of it, like the car chases or the car ramps and stuff like that. They did some excellent stuff on that show. Hooper was a very, very good show to watch.
Good movie.
Yeah. Good title too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Hey, Mark Ames is asking, did you work with Chevy Chase and Dudley Moore? And if you did, what was it like working with them?
No, I never did be on the set with Chevy Chase at any time or Dudley Moore at any time. Most of the times when we're doing stunts, it's a separate entity than the principal photography, and we do our stuff, and the actors generally aren't there. We are there doing the actors. So
Right.
we're not there a whole lot. There was one show that I did when I was within Gary Cooper. I can't remember, MacArthur, I think it was, where I was on set with him when I was doing stuff. And he was fun to be with.
Holy cow.
You probably
Yeah.
towered over Dudley Moore, so that's probably why he wasn't
yeah,
there.
Towered over me. I mean, I think little double Billy Barty, I know Cooper can do over me.
I was going to say.
How many was it? Just the
man.
one take for the manhole?
Just
do it once.
That is, to me, that is one of those stunts that I really, really messed up. And here's what happened. I'll give you the straight skinny on the thing completely. I'm standing above that manhole, and my mind is on my target. It's not on anything else. All I know is that when somebody tells me to go, I've got to jump off that plank down that manhole. Okay? I'm sitting there waiting, and my mind is zeroed in on this stunt. And somebody says, Frank, and I said, yeah, you can go. And I went and I jumped. They didn't say action. They just said, go. I went down that manhole and hit all those rungs. And I had to do that stunt again and then a third time. And my back was thrashed by the time I got out of there. My arms were thrashed. My back was thrashed. My legs were thrashed. It was that was a painful excursion into hell.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Wow.
All right,
So-
bite me. Get me.
This might be an ironic question, but based on the work that you did, what's the insurance policies like for a stuntman? Were they good? Was it good insurance or not so much?
Generally, it covers your bills when you're down and out for it. Sometimes it's getting better. Like I say, as a stuntman, you're not the star of the show, so you ain't making $17 trillion for 5 minutes worth of work. You know, you're
Should
there
be.
for the day.
Yeah, Janie's back on with us. She must be home, so she
Hi,
wanted to
Jamie.
back on.
Hi. Yes, I'm home. I'm home. Thank you.
Okay, bite me. Get me.
Take your best shot, Jane.
Take me with your best shot. Okay. So my question, what after all of these wonderful pieces of work that you have done, who has been your favorite that you have doubled for?
Oh God, it's just um,
Or favorite actor or actress that just really, yeah, that was a great time and I'm happy to have met them.
when I voted or not voted
Not
when
the
I when I doubled the girls on Red Dawn during the horse chase away from the helicopters and all the shooting and stuff like that. I got to meet the two girls, Leah and
Leah and Jennifer
Jennifer
Grey.
Grey. Yeah.
Jennifer Gray, and they were they were young, nice little girls that were just as full of spunk as can possibly be, and they were fun to work with. The guys on the show were super good people, and I didn't double anybody on the show except for the kid who played Aardvark as far as the boys go. We did the chase out of town in the back of the pickup and the tank battle and the horse and the helicopters out in the field when they're trying to escape. It was a nice show, and the kids they were really good. I mean, it was fun working with Patrick.
Oh, Patrick Swayze. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes. Yeah. That's amazing. And Leah Thompson, she still is spunky, even if she
yeah,
was
she
in
is.
Jaws 3, but she's still spunky. You see her at these conventions. So I actually met somebody from Commando just this past weekend. And he was, I think, the bad guy that kidnapped Alyssa Milano. And I can't think of his name, but we met him just this past weekend at a Comic-Con.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he
was.
was at, I can't think of his name. I apologize. I'm just got home, but and he was also in Mad Max, I believe, with Mel
Yes.
Gibson with the
Yeah,
Mohawk.
Hmm.
So
I
yeah,
Yep.
there. I remember the guy that you're talking about. I can't remember his name myself at the moment. Um, Vern something or other.
yes, yes, that's it. Yes, sir, that's it. Yes,
I can't remember
yeah,
his last name right at this point.
that's what.
Yeah,
No, but yes,
he
it
was
was Vern.
amazing. He's one of those excitable actors. He really gets into it and really plays it out there. He really lays it out good.
When we met him this past weekend, and he was sitting next to the table from Corey Feldman, who was there as well, and he said to me, he says, Feldman can run late, but I had to be here at a certain time. And I said, well, do you want me to be your bodyguard and whip somebody's ass? And he goes, would you please? And I said, absolutely, I would.
Vernon Wells, is that his name?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, please don't call me sir. I work for a living.
Okay, well, then that's fine. Can I call you Sparky like the rest of the Jaws 2 kids do?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Deal made,
Anytime.
sir. Good deal. You can call me G.I. Jane.
Okay, G.I. Joe.
Awesome. Very cool. You guys at home have any questions or any comments here? Shoot them on in here, and we'll give it a few minutes here, and then I think we'll look at starting to wrap things up here. But I, my last question for you is one I think of relevancy. So in the last 2 to 3 years, it's come up in the news many times. There's been a lot of controversy um, over the death of the one person that helped out with the arms on the movie Rust, the Western Rust with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've come across that and seen that. Have you ever not been witness to? Have you ever been on site of a film where you had a major mishap? I mean, because we know, I mean, people get life altering injuries. Sometimes, unfortunately, people lose their lives. Did you ever have to be witness to any of that?
There was one show I was on where there was a bad injury. It was on the movie Sphere. I
Hmm.
don't know if you remember the movie. Dustin
Hmm.
Hoffman, Roy Scheider, I think. I can't remember all the guys that were in it now. But it was up. We did it up in Vallejo and by San Francisco, and one of the crew members fell from one of the scaffolds up on top of the studio and into one of the tanks there, and he was injured quite bad.
Really?
A lot of moviegoers don't understand that to make that look. I mean, you guys do get injured, and it's a risk that you're willing to take just for that entertainment value. So, it needs to be appreciated. Absolutely does.
Yeah.
My back liked you. My back will spasm for you.
Well then, okay.
Yeah, you can get some injuries doing this work. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm sure you definitely carry some of that around with you even after you're done partaking in those events. Yeah, sure. Well, I always classify kids, but people in general, as you can put them into two categories. If you were to walk someone up to a swimming pool, would they be the kind of person that would walk up, touch their toe in the water, see if it was all right, look and see if it was deep enough, or the type of person that just sees it and just makes a split decision and a beeline and jumps in that water? That's exactly right.
Cannonball.
Yeah. Not fan of cannonballs. I like a 1.5 forward front flip.
There you go.
I have a feeling that Sparky is the type of person that's going to wind up doing the triple Lindy.
Got to put a little flair into it.
Just a little flair. There he goes.
Incredible. Unbelievable.
And I actually know what the word. Does anybody know what the word scuttlebutt means? Because he mentioned that, and my ears perked up.
Scuttlebutt.
Got a sailor here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know? You don't know, Nate? Does anybody know?
I mean, I'm very, very familiar with how it's used. As far as military, I don't know.
Yeah, I was in the Army. We don't, the Navy's,
Doesn't scuttlebutt mean like gossip or?
It's like gossiping around the water cooler. What's the latest gossip?
Right.
What's the latest details that are going on?
Exactly.
And Lin-Manuel Miranda kind of made that term very well when he did The Little Mermaid, because he wrote a song about it.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of those little terms is geedunk. You probably heard that in the Army.
Yes, sir. I have. Yes.
Oh, don't call me sir.
I'm sorry.
I work for a living.
I'm sorry.
So what is geedunk? I'm not familiar with that one.
Geedunk is superfluous stuff that you really don't need, but you want at the moment, like a candy bar, a drink, or specific medals that don't relate to anything, but you want to wear them anyway. Geedunk medals, that kind of stuff. Basically, it's candy.
All right. Wants as opposed to needs. Awesome.
Probably heard that a lot when they were doing G.I. Jane.
If he only knew what the GI stands for in my name.
Yeah.
You are G.I. Jane. You think about
G.I.
it.
Jane, yes, I am.
You really, you
Yes,
really
I
are.
am.
Now that you say that, yeah.
And that's right. And it was given to me by a Navy doctor.
There you go.
That I work with.
Okay, you got me wondering, what is G.I. Jane stand for? Because my mind is going crazy.
It's fine. So basically, I have a 21-year career in being a gastrointestinal nurse. So that's where the GI comes in.
Gotcha. Now it makes complete sense.
Yes.
Because I'm full of crap. So there you go.
She's the lover G.I. Jane. Awesome. Well, everybody, I want to thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us tonight and spending time and sharing a couple stories and definitely sharing a couple laughs. Frank, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us.
My pleasure. And anytime you need me, any one of you, if you want to do this again, just give me a jingle. You guys got me. I'm your slave.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, it's honestly really is awesome. We'd love to hear, you can only watch, you watch the movie so many times trying to look for things that are different or hear about different things. And when we can get someone who is, had a hand in the production of it, you get a little bit of a different perspective and some more information. And for us, especially with a 50-year-old film, we're constantly looking for things like that. So this is just absolutely marvelous experience for us. So really want to thank you sincerely for coming on and hanging out, and we'll definitely have to take you up on that again and bring you back on again, without a doubt.
Whenever you watch the show and you see the head pop through the bottom of the boat, say hi.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll scream for you.
All right. Well, you guys at home, we want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us and spending time and participating as well. An awful lot of fun. In fact, we've got a couple people on here saying thank you, Frank, for coming on tonight and hanging out with us as well. Great time. Mark saying thank you, Frank. Yeah, a bunch of people very, very, very happy to be spending time with you here. And
all the fans out there that have enjoyed it, my pleasure, gang. My pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank
We
you.
have
again.
a little tradition. Oh man, tons, unbelievable. Yeah, we have a little tradition here that we do on our show, and instead of saying waving goodbye, we do what we call fins up.
Oh, you must be a Jimmy Buffett fan like I am.
Oh, I am.
Well, yeah, this is our goodbye, and we're gonna let Quint take us out with a little bit of our farewell and adieu, and I want to thank you guys again very much. Wonderful evening night. A lot of fun. Here we go.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
Good night, guys.
Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.